Welcome back, dear viewers. As we said earlier, that we are going to talk about the educational system here in Egypt and the reforms required to develop this vital sector and to shed light on this issue. I joined here in the studio with Mr. Mahmoud Al-Neshawi, Senior English Language Lecturer. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Talking about education in general and how it is one of the most challenging actually files that we have, and we always talk about developing education. We have three pillars actually when it comes to the infrastructure, talking about the curriculum, talking about the instructors.
Yes.
And I believe that today you would like to talk more about the instructors and the relation with the students.
Yes.
And how to motivate them, the fact of just memorizing what they have to do and just go and after the exam, that is it. Let's talk about how can we work on this side for today, talking about our students.
Yes. First of all, thank you for hosting me today. When it comes to curriculum, curriculum everywhere, it's consistent and we don't worry about curriculum as teachers. But
we are worried as parents, but let's put it aside, okay?
The thing is, you really just, you brought up very important this point, which is the relationship between teachers and students and the motivation in classroom. Recently, you might find just, if you walk in a classroom, you might find, like after the first 20 minutes, you might find like students are slouching over their desks and they feel bored kind of. They didn't have, the passion or just the motivation to keep, to maintain their attention to the teachers. And this is really an important point that I would like to say that it is not the fault of the students, it is the fault, and actually it is the fault of teachers. Teachers unintentionally become, more classic and traditional when they approach or when they teach, and they're not versatile. So I would like just to acknowledge the fact that students have different learning types, and we as teachers, we need to maintain versatility in classroom. If I'm doing so, one point, like in one class, I might use videos and I might rely on visual aids, but in another class, I would maintain interview, oral interaction between the students. Because if, let me ask you a question, what do you think? How much information do students acquire if they just only heard a lecture? What do you think? Can you give me a percentage? Like if students just heard, one lecture, 20 minutes, 20% is the maximum acquisition they can get. Yeah. But if they had a discussion on the same topic, it goes up to 50%. 90% acquisition of information if they experienced something.
Giving examples and life examples and sharing.
Exactly. This is actually another good point because teachers do not share. They walk in classroom and they bring up their personal life issues. So they might looking flinching at the students and they might look very serious, when they walk out the classroom, they keep, complaining about how crabby the students were in classroom. But the truth is, if you allow your personal feelings in classroom, students also have their own lives. And students, they keep thinking about their friends, about what they will do after classroom, and they do not pay attention to what you're saying. But if you're enthusiastic and you're motivating them, if you give examples, greet them at doors, try to start your new class as it's a new day, be present-focused, this is really going to change the dynamics of classroom.
So you think that teachers need to develop their skills and the way they communicate with their students to get better results?
Exactly. Because most of the teachers are really great when it comes to academic background, but when it comes to emotional intelligence in communication, how to perceive students' emotions, how to detect if someone is really bored, how to motivate, how to, retain the power and the dynamics in classroom. This is really needs training and development, professional development. And I think internet is full of activities and icebreakers and warmers in the middle. You can search lots of theories and lots of videos that illustrate this on YouTube.
Right, it differs from one teacher to the other. I can see that still your age is a little bit close to the students.
Yes.
You feel their problems. You are part of their social life. Actually, sometimes it will be different if you are talking about some other man or teacher or professor. But this is not the only point, because sometimes you can see some of these people still, they have space, they have time to share and talk to the students. And nowadays, whenever we complain about the behavior of our youth in general, I always say we have to blame ourselves first, because we did not give them the model.
Exactly.
So how do you think of this? How can we communicate?
Yes. Well, just really when you said, because my age is a bit closer to their age, but really no, I would imagine myself a professor like after 15 years, and I'm like giving a speech in front of like, let's say 200, 300 students. I would think that I would, starting from the way I dress, I would dress just a polo shirt, just like semi-formal, and I would bring a tennis ball. If I cannot move around this huge crowd in my lecture hall, I would just bring a tennis ball, and I would just, like the first 5 or 10 minutes to try to motivate the students, and I would come up with a list of guessing. So I would like to activate their background about the topic. I would like to draw interest. Most of the teachers, they do not draw interest. Whether professor or teacher, it doesn't really matter of the age here. What really matters is that students ask themselves the moment they walk in classroom, what's in it for me? So, okay, what's in it? So most teachers, they would be exams focused. And here is a really very risky type of motivation. It is kind of motivation that students are, I'm afraid to fail, that we call superficial students. Superficial students, they are developed by the way the teacher used to teach. So I would like, okay, here is an exam. You do well, you get rewarded. You don't study, you fail. So here is the deal. So this is not a motivation.
So how voluntary work reinforces students' academic achievements?
Yeah, this is really a great question. Voluntary work, like lecture does not build my character, because I'm not the decision maker. It's you as a teacher. I don't have any responsibility. You didn't share with me any decision making. You didn't give me like evaluation tests. Because in states, right, like in Ireland now, most of like the K-12 education, they give students different type of testing, and they ask students to rate and choose which one is fitting to your style. So, but if I don't do this, then the lecture for me has no effect in my life, because I don't have any choice. So voluntary work enables my personality to develop, and it gives me the right to choose, enables me the right to take responsibility. So if I have any voluntary work or just youth activity beside my academic track, they would make me keen to attend my lecture and just do well and make good grades, because I have something I'm doing, because I'm developing on a different track. But just if my life means just going to classroom and finishing going at home, this is really what will be demotivating.
I think this has always been the point that just came to my mind. If you can, or if you are going to ask the student in the university, I'm not talking also about private universities,
yes,
just give him an open book exam. He will not be able to do it, actually.
Yes.
And some people, they think that this is something very, very easy. On the contrary. So just imagine you have the book, but still you cannot answer. Why? Because you don't understand what you are studying.
Exactly.
You are memorizing. And this will continue with us, because, again, it will take us to the curriculum, not only to the teacher. I don't want to talk about the curriculum, actually, right now. Still, let's focus on what we are talking about. But how can you work with the current or the present curriculum, and in the meantime, that teach the students, giving him much more experience, far beyond what he is learning, actually?
Yes, really, great question. That I myself, I start at the very beginning, at the very first class, I tell them that the curriculum is not everything. That curriculum is for you just to add information, but we're here we want to learn. For example, I teach English. So for example, I personalize English. I try to connect English with their personal lives, with their dreams, with their interests. Because I have curriculum, or let's say 3 or 4 pages talking about how to address people, how to suggest, how to request. Now, okay, here is a thank you curriculum, closed book, and then we try now to imagine that we're in a situation. Okay, what do you do if you're in a situation trying to request something from your friend? What will you do? What will you say? And then we try to act, like demonstrate this. So I think extracurricular activities, daily topics from outside, you bring life in your classroom. This is how you draw interest and how you start to, rely more in, we call it realia, more than the curriculum.
So the importance of, shed light on the importance of integrations of life skills as a core subjects in education.
Life skills really, as I earlier mentioned, it's just the same. It is, you can acquire it from the volunteer work. So if we're talking about life skills, skills like problem solving, cooperation, teamwork, decision making, skills like that you cannot acquire in classroom, right? But
teamwork you can acquire in the classroom.
Exactly, and actually
this has always been our problem as well. Not only challenge, it is a problem. It is not in our, let's say, culture. You always want to take the credit for yourself.
Exactly.
And this is completely not in countries that want to build their economy and their future.
Yes, exactly. Like back in 2008, United States, and educators started to meet, and they wanted to prepare students and graduates right after they graduate and finish their high school to meet the requirements of the market. Because really great students with higher GPAs, but they still cannot meet the requirements of job vacancies. So they wanted to prepare them on the social and professional level. So they came up with the idea of life skills and tried to integrate it in the core subjects themselves. Like if I'm teaching like chemistry, I would try to develop like another skill from your on the social level, like problem solving. And I give you start to put you in problems, try to solve it. You solve it together. So I'm reinforcing like teamwork skills, like you said, because you're going to do it in group. No credits here. It's not competition. It's just some drawing interest. I'm like planting new concept or new beliefs that I want you to try to solve. I want you to develop your critical thinking, how you think about problem, whether if it's math problem, speech problem, chemical problem, like this.
So do you think that we need to develop our curriculums?
Of course.
In what way?
In what way? Not academically, but I would like to...
Talking about English in particular, as you are an English lecturer.
Yes.
The way we teach English in schools.
Especially in schools. I think that we need to work on fulfilling first like psychological needs of students. Like, come on, like I know students who are in like international schools, but when it comes to real life situation, they feel hesitant and there is kind of, reticence to speak, afraid to make mistakes. So I think what we need here to develop the curriculum to integrate more life aspects. Like if I have listened talking about just restaurants and how to order food, I would like to take them on a field trip to a real restaurant. I would like to host, the curriculum should integrate kind of exchange students programs.
Practice.
Exactly.
You need more practice. It's not only grammar and how to write and how to read and this way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not really most.
We need to develop this.
Yes, exactly, because most teachers are, book focused and, classic theories when it comes to direct teaching of grammar. This is not really work. I mean, it's all about motivating students to talk, wanting to make mistakes, and later on, we will correct the mistakes. And this is what we call communicative approach.
Yes.
We communicate the language. You start with a topic, just like any topic. We have a discussion. Students make mistakes, and at the end of the class, after you do your monitoring, okay, this is a few mistakes of grammar. If you would like to do this, I will say it this way, write it this way. So students here are not afraid to make mistakes, but okay, I will change it because I want to be better. So it's like the sense of practice, as you said, is really important to start with.
So on the conclusion, it has been many years. Every year we hear a lot about developing the educational system. So if we are talking right now that we have to work today, what are the priorities, or from your own point of view, how do you see, or what can we do immediately, something that we have to feel it immediately?
Immediately, just we change all English language curriculum, or we try to fit a life skills. Like, I don't want to teach like traditional topics in English language. Rather, I would, at the immediate change, as you said, I would teach presentation skills in English. Because I need English to communicate to the other side of the world, to all people from different countries. But if I don't have the ability to present myself, language here doesn't matter. It doesn't work itself. So I would like to teach skills beside English language. So like if one lesson of grammar would be equivalent, just at the same side, okay, one type of presentation skills. So take life skills integrated with the English curriculum, so that like communication, as we call it, communicative English. Because I want to qualify students to speak English in the market. Like, there is a huge and big market right now, and competition is really high. So I would like to, I don't want to just give you like English language as like something away from, like detached
without
from
self-confidence and
without
presentation
exactly
skills.
And then okay, here's now I would like to prepare you to speak, and I would like to prepare you to have great interview and present yourself. But I think it's about, you cannot, like indispensable English and communication skills. So
Hey, Mr. Mahmoud Neshawi, Senior English Language Lecturer, thank you for being with us today.
thank you so much. Thank you for hosting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for hosting me today.
And with this, we come to the end of our breakfast show for today. Thank you all for joining us. Remember to join us again tomorrow, same time, with our colleagues for more on the breakfast show. So till then, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more coming up on Now TV International.